Hey, friendos, we've got huge holiday sales happening now at ProWrestlingTees.com/GoingInRaw and FriendoMarket.com. 20% off everything on both sites, and we have restocked Slaya shirt sticker packs at the Friendo Market. Links in the description. Hey, friendos, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw Countout. This is the only countout show. Well, we're back. We're back.
We're back for now.
It's Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving.
It's a special return engagement for Going In Raw Countout.
Countout.
While.
Yeah.
Need to pre-produce some content so we can take a couple days off for Thanksgiving holiday.
It'll probably come back at the end of next month also because there's more holiday coming up.
Yeah, it's called Christmas.
It's called Christmas.
But it's fitting, and we can do end of the year list, and that's always fun.
Friendo Awards coming up too. That's going to be a blast.
Becky Lynch is going to win all of them.
Every award. Best wrestler not in WWE, Becky Lynch. Best male performance, Becky Lynch.
She is the man.
She is the man. It's going to be great.
Best wrestler.
So anyways, we're coming back to count out for a couple episodes, and we figured the end of the year is coming up, which means the beginning of next year is also coming up, which means the contracts for the majority of being the elite guys, the elite, Cody, Kenny, Young Bucks, are all coming up.
Oh, Hangman Page.
Hangman Page. Where are they going to go? They might go to WWE. They might not go to WWE. We're here to guide them. We are older than all of them. We have wisdom. We've been in the wrestling business for 3 years now. We know what they should do, but we're not going to tell them. We're going to present them today 10 reasons why the elite should go to WWE. Tomorrow, 10 reasons why they should not go to WWE. We lay it all out for them, and then they can decide.
Yes.
Do you hope they do go or hope they don't go? Personally.
My personal preference is that they don't.
What the heck?
I think there's still a lot for them to do outside WWE, and like to see what they can accomplish. That's just my
personally, I would
opinion.
love to see them go to WWE because it will boost our numbers, more revenue for us. And at the end of the day, that's all Daddy cares about.
Yeah.
More money for me. Make $1.01, Larson. Anyways, let's take a look at
number 10, speaking of which.
They're top 10 reasons they should get number 10.
10.
Because they get a huge payday. Oh, my God.
Yeah, what did Meltzer say? $3 million?
$3 million. Cody told him $3 million gets the job done.
Yeah.
Downside.
That's downside.
That's downside guaranteed, not including revenue sales,
bonus,
pay-per-view,
merchandise,
bonuses,
yada, yada.
whatever all that stuff is. So, yeah, I mean, come on. Let's face it. WWE right now has more money than any strictly wrestling company. Mm-hmm. I know Ring of Honor is owned by,
Sinclair, huge media conglomerate.
But
they didn't really put that much money into Ring of Honor.
They don't put that much thought in a Ring of Honor.
No.
So, they're not going to be able – WWE will give them a massive, massive payday. They will instantly become some of the highest paid wrestlers on the planet.
Yep.
In the company. That's what they're going to get. So, yeah. And honestly, the only reason this is at number 10, because I was like, why is it number 10? He said, well, it's just the most
obvious.
Yeah, and it's a pretty boring answer.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. This is probably going to be the number one reason why, if they do sign, probably number one reason is because
potentially
they put the most zeros behind the biggest number.
Potentially.
Because people love money, because it means security. They can get hurt tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
They can walk in front of the bus and get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, they could die also, but if it's like a slower moving bus and they just fall and break a leg.
They just kind of
get sideswiped.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like a bus could do some damage.
Oh, yeah. I've seen movies where people get hit by buses.
It happened in Ozark, the show I'm watching.
Oh, really?
Old lady got hit by a bus.
Ow.
Shocking.
Usually it is shocking because any scene that happens, the bus is always speeding. It's like a high-speed bus.
Yeah. Actually, in Ozark, is actually kind of obvious. She's like, it's like an intense argument, and she's backing up into the street, and you're like, she's totally going to get hit by a car right now. And, of course, a speeding bus.
A speeding bus is always a speeding bus.
Number 9.
9.
The fans will be so disappointed if they don't go. Here's the bottom line. It'd just be kind of a bummer.
It would be kind of a bummer because we'll talk about far more later. There's a lot of things. Granted, I don't really, right now, I'd kind of prefer them not to go. Not that what I say matters at all.
Sure it does. You're old.
Not really.
I think they watch.
There's plenty of old people that have nothing.
Nothing to offer.
Well, I mean, whose opinion is pretty, like, why should my opinion have any sway over it? Anyways.
Because you know what you're talking about.
Really.
They watch this show religiously.
All right. You made me lose my train of thought completely.
You
I was trying to
said
say
personally.
yeah. Anyways.
Personally, you don't want to see them go. Yeah.
But that being said, however, do I want to see Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins? Yeah, that'd be great. Versus AJ Styles, New Day versus Young Bucks. That'd all be great. Yeah. I'd love to see that. At the same time, I feel like there's more that they can do.
I just think that at the end of the day, it's this. It's the WWE. It would feel like something is missing if they didn't go to WWE at some point. It totally would. That's the end. I'm sorry. That's the end all be all. And if they went, it only has to be for like 3 years, and they can go and do whatever they want to do.
Or go retire.
But it would be so great to see them in WWE. And look, there'd be plenty of fans who would think, oh, you sold out.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a flip side to it where there'd be people who'd be upset that they went.
But I would think that the backlash, especially if the Elite, which they would totally do, to try to allay those fears of, oh, you guys sold out, you're going to the enemy. To do that, they would probably post some being the Elite where they explain, it'd be like LeBron's The Decision, but without the backlash.
I was say, that really didn't work out for LeBron.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It would be more like the newspaper article or newspaper letter that Kevin Durant wrote.
Oh, I was thinking the one that LeBron did where he said, I'm coming home.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one. That's what I'm thinking of. It would be just be. I told you it's off camera. It's kind of why Lacey and I had a kid. It'd be a bummer if you and I were together the rest of our lives and didn't have a kid. It should be a bummer if they didn't go to WWE. It's the same thing. Okay. Having a kid, signing with WWE, it's all the same thing. Number 8. They'd get the star treatment.
Say what you will about the creative booking of, for example, Shinsuke Nakamura or Finn Balor. From the moment they step foot on main roster, they've been treated like stars.
They have been. Finn Balor, first Universal Champion.
Yep. His third match?
Shinsuke Nakamura. Like you said, say what you will about him. I feel like with Shinsuke, it's always been really, really good intentions. Like debuting him and not having him wrestle a match for 6 weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow. They're treating him like such a star. We don't get to see him wrestle.
Yeah.
And
it's just a bummer that the first feud he was in was against Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, but, they knew they were going to get a decent match out of him, or they thought they would. So, yeah, they will get the red carpet treatment. They're going to be straight to main. None of this NXT stuff, which is kind of a bummer because NXT is amazing. They're going to get the star treatment. Look, I'll go back to this every single time. Do you want to see how the Young Bucks will be treated? Watch Matt and Jeff Hardy, WrestleMania.
33,
when they returned. They came in as a big surprise announcement. Their big surprise entry. Won the tag titles immediately on the biggest show, Raw. That's what the Young Bucks would get. Except they'd probably be inserted in the Raw tag team title match and the SmackDown tag team title match. They'd go home and they'd have their Super Kick titles, Raw, SmackDown titles.
Still the PWG tag titles.
And yeah, exactly. Number 7. The Daniel Bryan schedule. This is sketchy, but it's possible.
As far as we know, Daniel Bryan is the only. Well, it's Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton.
Yes,
are the only two full-time talents who don't work a full-time schedule.
And maybe Rey Mysterio.
We don't know. That was a sticking point in negotiations, but we never heard how that panned out. Whether
we don't.
WWE relented and allowed him to work fewer dates, or Rey Mysterio relented and said, okay, I'll work a full-time schedule, or they found some happy medium.
We should tweet at Dave Meltzer.
Happy medium where Mysterio gets a somewhat reduced schedule, but for the longest time, going back to like Kurt Angle, most recently with Ray, that was the sticking point in negotiations, that WWE always wanted new signees or returning talents to work a full-time schedule.
Like Kurt Angle. Yeah. Doesn't work a full-time schedule.
Yeah, but they didn't really, I don't know if they initially brought him back to be a wrestler per se.
That'd be great if he was like, man, I'm so tired. Hey, Vince, I have a great idea. I love Drew. Have him humiliate me and then write me off because he destroyed me so hardcore. Oh, great idea, Kurt. You're very selfless. Oh, man, I get to take a nap now.
I know, I get some time off.
Exactly. So there is the look. Again, we mentioned this in tomorrow's episode where we look at the flip side of things. It all depends on their negotiating power. If they are in such a position of negotiating power, The WWE will be so excited to have them. They'll be like, okay, well, that's the cost of doing business. You guys can work a lighter schedule. On the other hand, if WWE says, well, we're giving you $3 million a year,
you need to work 325
you're gonna have
days
to
a year.
work the schedule.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is entirely possible. We don't know. We're not in the room. We don't know what's going to happen. But it seems that the WWE might be lightening up a little bit on the schedule thing. Maybe. It's a possibility. There's some precedents.
One example is Daniel Bryan is a special case, given his history of head injuries.
The Young Bucks are a special case, given their history of making a lot of money.
Yeah, but they can probably make more money for the company at WWE's eyes if they work like every day of the year.
Number 6.
6.
It's the biggest platform.
It really is.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
What WrestleMania usually gets about 70,000 people.
That is a beautiful stage, by the way.
That's a good-looking stage.
That is a beautiful stage.
Wrestle Kingdom's a huge platform, but I think they usually get between 30 and 40,000 attendees for the largest show of the year.
Yeah.
But the reach of the WWE vastly outpaces New Japan. I don't know what the numbers are for New Japan World in terms of subscriber count. It was under 100,000 a while ago.
I think it went over 100,000 at some point.
WWE Network's at like 1.5 million.
Yeah.
You know, the viewership is down, but it's still enormous in comparison to any other wrestling promotion here in the States. If you want to wrestle on the largest stage possible anywhere in the world, it's the WWE.
Look, you want to turn Being the Elite into a WWE Network cartoon, they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have ride-alongs with the Elite, WWE can do it.
Yeah.
Like, their platform is massive. It is crossover. It reaches into mainstream American households, backpacks, toys, all that stuff.
Wrestling buddies.
Wrestling buddies. Video, like, you don't have to worry about Diffract making you anymore. You go down to the 2K headquarters and they'll scan your face.
Yeah.
And they'll make you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive platform where you can make tons of just cash money, hand over fist, massive royalty checks.
Potentially.
Huge. And look, if you want to change the world, come on, be honest. Can you change the world wrestling in bingo halls? No, you can't do that. Can you change the world wrestling in front of 60,000 to 100,000 people? Yes, you can do that. You need people. You need a world to change. You can't do it wrestling in those little rinky-dink high school gymnasiums where 100 people are showing up, man.
I think the Elite are doing that. They're wrestling in front of pretty large crowds. Come on.
It's all bingo halls, man. Number 5.
5.
It's now or never, man. They're not getting any younger.
No, and especially with Cody just apparently tearing the meniscus in his knee. None of them are old. I think Kenny and Cody are both in their mid-30s. I think Matt Jackson's probably in his mid-30s too.
Yeah.
Or close to it. None of them are old, but they all, maybe save for Cody, wrestle a really physical, high-impact style.
Yeah, man.
And the wear and tear is going to catch up with them. Mm-hmm. So right now, they're arguably at their peak popularity. They might never be hotter as a unit.
True.
In terms of negotiating leverage, this might be the perfect time.
Yep.
And if they want to go to WWE and have some of these matches with some of these opponents that otherwise would never happen, you kind of have to do it before your body starts to break down.
AJ's 41, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want a dream match against Bob Roode, he's also 40.
Yeah.
No, they are. I mean, look, what you said is exactly right. They wrestle a very, very physical style, especially the Young Bucks doing a lot of flippy stuff. If we want these dream matches, which we'll get to in a bit, if we want these dream matches to be true dream matches, I don't want to see these guys.
Everybody's got to be at their peak.
Exactly. I don't want to see, Undertaker, Kane versus Triple H, Shawn Michaels, but the Young Bucks versus the New Day.
Yeah,
20 years from now.
200 years worth of...
I don't want to see it then.
Yeah.
I want to see it now at their peak. Absolutely. Yes. And I know if they wait another year, might not be that big of a difference, but a year can be a long time.
A lot can happen in a year.
How many months are in a year? 14, 16, something like that?
11.
Yeah, something like that. Number 4.
4.
They could expand Being the Elite. So in tomorrow's episode, we talk about the potential pitfalls of what might happen to Being the Elite.
Yes.
However, on the flip side, they could expand. They could have their cake and eat it too. They could keep Being the Elite the way it is now, except on a bigger platform, either WWE's YouTube or just keep it on their own YouTube.
Yeah, and just use WWE's marketing muscle to help promote it. And also, you have the entire roster of WWE talents potentially at your disposal for guest spots. We saw what Kevin Owens was briefly on Being the Elite.
Who wouldn't love to see Kevin Owens and Adam Cole, that picture we just showed here, Kevin Owens and Adam Cole, at Adam freaking Cole, the guy they killed off.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the door was open. What was it he used to say? It was something like, oh, I just came in because the door was open or something. I don't know what it was. He would always just walk into a room.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. People would mark out. That episode would get so many viewers.
Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan show up in an episode.
Sami Zayn showing up in an episode.
Yep.
It could be massive. People would mark out so hardcore for it. I mean, come on, let's be honest. How many more episodes can SCU say this is the worst town I've been in? How many more episodes really can you talk about Flip being all out?
Yeah.
How many more episodes can you get the same cast? You need fresh characters. You need new characters. And there's a whole cast of them in WWE waiting to be on Being the Elite 2.0.
And that's not to mention potential Being the Elite like holiday specials on the network.
Oh, man, give me a break. I mean, here's the thing, too, is that if they sign a contract, let's say they sign a 3-year deal, right? 3 years later, if you go through with this, I have a hard time believing that if they were to sign a deal with WWE, they would hand over like ownership of the Elite to WWE. They would license it out. So then when they leave, that brand would potentially be even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Even bigger.
Absolutely.
So there's the possibility they're also investing in your own future by going to WWE. Number 3. Triple H is there.
Yeah, Triple H, based on what he's done in NXT, based on what we've heard him say about his appreciation for independent wrestling, what we've heard others say, like Gabe Sapolsky, recently interview with PW Insider.
He signed all of their friends.
Pretty much.
Every single damn one of them.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I already mentioned those guys.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Finn Balor, maybe.
Finn Balor, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle. All those guys.
Yeah.
They're all just their friends.
Yeah.
And he signed them all.
Yeah.
So all their friends are waiting, all because of Triple H. Triple H understands what people want to see from these independent talents, or these non-WWE talents when he brings them in. And on top of that, you have a dream match waiting there with Cody and Triple H.
Yes.
I think that could be spectacular.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I mean, that's huge. Speaking of which, number 2. Yeah, Dream Match City, man.
Yeah, man.
That's what WWE is. Look at that. There's just one potential dream match. Kenny versus AJ Styles.
Kenny said he wants that match at the largest stage possible, WrestleMania. Kenny also says he wants a match against Seth Rollins, of course.
They both said that on Twitter.
And, of course, there's
at each other.
The ongoing feud between the New Day and the Elite.
Remember when Seth Rollins in that little video that they did that WWE put out like a year ago? It was like, what wrestlers do you want, or what's your dream match or something like that? Everybody else, I think, gave WWE names.
And he said Kenny Omega.
He said Kenny Omega.
And they put it up and they took it down.
And then they took it back down.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
But not just that. You got Young Bucks versus the Usos, Young Bucks versus Thebar, Young Bucks versus New Day. You got Kenny versus Seth versus AJ versus Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle just said that he wants to have a match against Kenny Omega.
The Elite versus the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Cody versus Triple H.
What if you make the Elite like cross brand?
That'd be great.
They show up for like a program on Raw, then they show up for a program on SmackDown. They show up for a program against the Undisputed Era on NXT. There's so many things you could do. There's so many things you could do. So many dream matches. You want to get the most out of all those.
Yes.
Number 1. Vince McMahon's there.
Vince McMahon has created the largest wrestling company in the entire history of the planet. He has been the creative force behind creating some of the most famous talents to ever set foot in the wrestling ring. Say it will about his booking decisions and doing them seemingly on a whim. He's gotten a lot wrong, but it's hard to argue that he hasn't gotten a lot right as well. He's done a lot of things correctly.
I would say right now, like when you look at, so we've heard rumors that he points at Becky Lynch as somebody who grabbed his imaginary brass ring and is running with it. He, for the most part, Vince totally does know what he's doing. There's so much evidence out there. People were shocked when they found out that he was at Gorilla running Evolution because it was a damn good show.
Yeah.
Well, Vince McMahon knows what he's doing. I don't know if he runs Gorilla every week at SmackDown. I mean, he wasn't there. He wasn't even at Raw like a couple weeks ago.
No, he wasn't. Apparently, he's not going to be at SmackDown. We're shooting this on Tuesday, the night after Becky Lynch broke her nose. And apparently, he's not at SmackDown today.
Yeah. But he still runs things, and he's still Vince McMahon. He has far more hits I'll put it this way. His hits are much bigger than the entirety of his misses. I'll put it that way. And the proof is that WWE is like the biggest thing in wrestling, and they probably always will be. So, and on top of that, this is actually a point that Adam Mayhem once made to us. He said, one huge reason to do this is they only have to deal with one promoter, and that's Vince McMahon.
It's true.
Right now, I'm sure New Japan is like a proper company, and they probably have a regular system of getting paid there. But think about all the other appearances they make, all the other people they have to deal with to collect their money. Doing that alone is probably a full-time job with how prolific they are.
Yeah.
And so, you've got, okay, well, on one hand, what if it's just the Young Bucks going to a promotion? Okay, on the other hand, you've got, well, what if we're a package deal? We've got the Young Bucks and Kenny, or the Young Bucks and Cody, the entire elite. And then so it's like, I'm sure that they have to deal with many, many vendors. They're merch guys, pro wrestling tees. They have to deal with they probably pack their own stuff. Like when they were selling that kids book, there was like on Being the Elite, there was video footage of them like packing all the books.
Yep.
They wouldn't have to do that stuff anymore.
Nope.
That stuff is off the table.
Yep.
So that's what happens when you deal with one promoter with one company. And I'm sure they would love to do that. I'm sure that'd be great. But also on top of that, it's Vince McMahon. Like I would find it hard to believe that guys who are so into wrestling, the elite. I mean, I know Cody's been there. Obviously, he's been there. He's dealt with Vince. Dealing with somebody who's that like the biggest figure in wrestling, it's got to be. It's got to pique their curiosity.
Oh yeah,
it would have to.
Yeah, I think so.
So. Anyways, I think those are 10 compelling reasons for
good
them to
reasons.
go to WWE.
Good reasons.
And I think they should definitely do that because, again, my own pockets would be lined because it would be such a big deal. What have you created here? A little paperclip man? Interesting.
Kind of.
A little Undisputed Era paperclip man for Adam Cole to hang out with? Look at that.
There you go.
There you go. It's like one of those find water with them.
Oh, yeah. Water...
Diviners?
Something like that.
Well, something like that.
Oh, dear.
That's it for show. Thanks so much for tuning in tomorrow. We got an episode why they shouldn't go to
Yeah.
WWE. Till next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.
Oh, and I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.